Hi, this is Dana Beltz. I'm just going to be briefly going over the Tidewater Goby dataset review. The main group cleanup that we had for the dataset that Brenton gave us in the form of the Excel was really just adhering to keys, making changes to formatting. So capitalization, inclusion of symbols, anything like that that didn't follow the keys that he gave us, we changed. If we found any errors, missing variables, missing times, collection numbers, we just highlighted in yellow for Brenton to go over. My beginning hypothesis was basically just finding what explanatory variables could be contributing to the presence of a microsporidia in certain Tidewater Goby localities. The variables that I focused on were site's jurisdiction, power plants, agriculture, oil and gas, and site characteristics. I had to create a new data set from this. So this KML that Brenton gave me was separate from the groups data set that he sent out. So I had to convert this into an Excel, which is here. So I have, stuff pertaining to the sites as well as site characteristics. I have columns over here on the right that you can't see because they're not filled in. That's what ArcPro was being used for. I was merely just going to find spatial relationships between these explanatory variables. And the biggest roadblock that I'm coming into right now is actually creating the appropriate size buffer for each site. So the catchment area. A student from UCLA sent him the catchment areas. He told me what data set to use, but I have yet to figure out how to calculate the actual buffer for each site because they range from less than a hectare to over 500 hectares. So until I can figure out how to correctly create this catchment buffer for each site, I won't be able to input data into ArcPro. So really my main focus right now is bulking up this Excel data set that I created, this master data set, to have the appropriate results from the explanatory variables. So once I actually have that catchment area buffer, I will be able to tell, what explanatory variables lie within that buffer, just outside of that buffer, intersect it, stuff like that. And then I can put it into the Excel sheet and run it through ArcPro's tool called Insights, which is a statistical analysis tool. And then my hypothesis can then be further sharpened to actually focus on the explanatory variables that could very well be affecting these Tidewater Goby localities. Because this hypothesis that I have is pretty new, it's like 2014, there's not a lot of data on it. And so what I'm going off of in terms of explanatory variables are based on Brenton's verbal communication to me as to what his hypotheses are for that actual microsporidia. So I'm basing it off of that. So yeah, that's where I'm at.